and it was a winter day, and I had just gotten the eviction notice, and I told my best friend at the time about the eviction notice. So we took a walk to the botanical gardens, and I was just stressed out. So we were just talking about it. Right? And as we were talking about it, I just felt helpless, because there I am. I'm a mother of, okay, good. I'm a mother of 3. I just had a baby, and I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. So we took a walk to the botanical gardens next to Central Park. To Prospect Park. And the victory run is similar to this meditation. Again, like, I'm all about the shadow work and just like doing work that's going to allow us to get out of our own way. So we took a walk through botanical gardens. I was just talking. She was allowing me. She was making space for me and just allowing me to vent and just talk about how I got this eviction notice. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. This is 2011 and 12 that I got eviction notices back to back. Okay. So, and every time it felt like I was just losing myself. Like, oh my God, this is crazy. This can't be my life. Getting eviction notices every damn year, barely making it, barely able to pay my rent. And here I am. I'm a mother of 3, just had a baby. Lotus was what, 1? And then 2012, 2, right? And I'm like, damn, I don't have nobody to help me. The baby daddies ain't helping me. Okay. Cause the father of my first 2 daughters, he wasn't helping me. And that's the reason why I left him, because okay, so after I had my first daughter, I was in college, my first year of undergrad. So I left undergrad and went and moved with him. And I ended up living, I was in Georgia at the time, actually. Okay. I lived in Georgia once before this time. So I ended up living there for 3 years. We were together for 3 years in Georgia. I moved in with him. But then I found myself, I was 19, 18, 19, whatever, got pregnant. And I was in my first year, of undergrad. And I find myself there paying the mother effing rent. I'm working. I don't know if those of y'all in Atlanta, I was working at the children's school across the street from Piedmont Park. That's where I was working. Okay. And I was the one paying the rent, to the point where the landlord, who was a family member, came knocking at the damn door, asking for their rent. And I hated that. I had to deal with that type of stress. This is why when I talk about wealth, I talk about ease. Okay, I talk about the ease and the freedom that wealth lends. For me, it's not about that. The big old Louis bags and everything like that, right? It's not about that. That stuff is just fun. And honestly, I probably do that for y'all more than I do it for myself, right? Because that's what y'all relate to. I really don't give a fuck about that stuff. I really don't. But I do like to be able to go into those stores that's charging thousands of dollars for something that it probably cost them $10 to $15 to make. I like the ability to just be able to do it because I can. I do like that. Okay. I do like that. So it is a feeling involved with that. So, not to exclude that element. So here I am, mother of 1 and then 2. Oh yeah. This is what happened. So I was in Georgia. I had Doobie, and two weeks later, I moved to Georgia. I finished my first year of undergrad. Was not in school after that. Left school. I'm going to get back to the eviction notice. Okay. I'm going to get back to the eviction notice. Left school. moved with him. He was an artist. So, you know, we were teenage loves. He was an artist, but struggle artist. Because here we are, we were both artists at the time. I also used to rap. He was a rapper. I rapped as well, but I was more so a mother. And I worked at the children's school. Okay? Y'all didn't know that about me. Yes. So here we are, the landlord knocking at my door, and I'm like, what the hell? You know, this is not a good feeling. You got the landlord, dude. You're at the studio smoking with your friends. This may be an old story. Oh man, this is about to end. Y'all meet me on my Aunt Petrova page. Meet me on my Aunt Petrova, and because this is about to end in 18 seconds. There it is. That's the page. Meet me on that page because this is ending in 10 seconds. Thank you for joining me for Manifest a Million Meditation. Use code MOMMYLOVE at femmagic.com. Bless. Hold on, y'all. Let me post this video. I'm going to tell y'all the story in a second. Yes. So, use code MOMMYLOVE at femmagic.com. Hold on, I'm going to finish telling y'all the story in a second about the eviction, the back-to-back evictions, and how the victory run, because somebody told me that they used to come to my workouts. Okay. Full moon meditation. All right. Boom. All right. So as I was saying, right? So, the landlord, man, the same anxiety that was created when that landlord, who was a family member, visited me, is the same anxiety that I felt when I had 3 children. At that time, I had 1 child. I think I was pregnant with the second one, or maybe I had 2. No, I had a child and I had a baby, a newborn baby. I had a child and a baby at the time. The same anxiety that I felt when I had the child and the baby years later is the same anxiety I felt 10 years later after when I saw that eviction notice. And so here I am, starving artist. You know, the starving artist syndrome. He's at the studio smoking weed. Y'all know that story, women. Y'all know that story. They were doing it then. They're still doing it today. Smoking weed, hanging out with the friends, while I'm over there struggling with this little job at the children's school, trying to make things happen, trying to barely paying the rent, right? So the landlord came asking for her rent. We didn't have no rent. I had to call him. Well, did we even have a cell phone? I don't think I had a cell phone. No, didn't have a cell phone then. I didn't have a cell phone then. Nope. No, I didn't call him. I sent telepathy messages to his ass. And, you know, guess what happened? That was the year that my graduating class was graduating. Okay, because remember, I dropped out of school to go live with him right after I had my baby. So I went to live with him. And here I was working. Now I was a big time entrepreneur. I had started, not big time, but you know, I was doing my thing. I started a female MC showcase called Wordplay, where all the women MCs, I told them to fly out, and they flew out. And I used to have these events called Wordplay under my company called Empress Enterprise. And then I also had a company called Reason to Be Vegan, because I was strict vegan at the time, to where I was selling, vegan pies and treats at our events, right? And then I was also working at the children's school. So this is me, 18, 19, 20, and then 21. And then I left Atlanta around 22, 23, something like that. But again, I dropped out of school while I was in Atlanta. And then I found myself pregnant again. Now watch what you say, because people would ask me, and I'm young, so I'm not even knowing that I'm speaking this over my life. But they would ask me, when the next baby coming? People always ask you that, like you're supposed to just be popping babies out after babies. When the next baby coming? And then me, I would automatically answer, I don't know, maybe in 3 years. 3 years. That would be my answer, not knowing that I'm speaking this into my life, And sure enough, 3 years later, when I was not ready to have another baby, I was pregnant again. And I did a reading for myself with, hold on, let me show you. I did a reading for myself with these cards. As you can see, these cards are old. They're that old because they've been in this leather bag for that long. I did a reading for myself with the Metu cards. And I was like, damn. I was like, do I have to go through with this? I got things like my graduating class just graduated. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling bad about myself because, also too, around that age, your degree is somewhat how you might define yourself. Other things outside of yourself, as opposed to what you possess inside of you, is how you're defining yourself. And I mean, adults do that today. They define themselves by their degrees, their positions at their jobs, even their position in their family. I'm a mother or I'm a wife, or, that's how they define themselves. And so I was defining myself by this degree. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm here I am popping out babies, and my graduating class, oh my God, I feel so bad. They're graduating. I'm not graduating. I'm just over here making babies. So I was just like, I did a reading and they were like, listen, if you cut off one head of the dragon, you're just going to grow up. You're just going to grow 3 more dragon heads. Okay. So that's what the reading said. So then next thing you know, I ended up having my baby and she came out singing like a breath of fresh air. Right? This was my second daughter, Fofie. She came out. She literally was like humming as she came out. She was like, And this is the daughter who I had at home because I planned to have an unassisted home birth with this daughter. Yeah, I was crazy then. Right? I'm still a little crazy. But I had already had my first daughter home birth. So I saw how easy it was to have a home birth. So for my second daughter, again, we ain't nothing but like 19, 20. So for my second daughter, his mother, right, my daughter's father, their father, his mother was going through a midwifery course because she was already a registered nurse. So I asked her, what do we need to have this unassisted home birth? So she told us all the tools that we needed for the unassisted home birth, while I was also getting my prenatal checkups and everything with Marsha Ford here in Georgia, right? She's an incredible midwife. I haven't spoken to her in years, but yeah, Marsha Ford. So Marsha Ford would come, she would pay me home visits. I would go to her office and get my prenatal appointments going. And so we ended up having the unassisted home birth. So this is how that went. This is a whole different, I'm diverging off to another part, right? But, so I decided to have the home birth. He didn't know what the hell, you know what I mean? He just was going along because I'm the one who was like the revolutionary, like, listen, I'm going to live my own life and I'm going to live it on my terms. I don't want to be having no baby in no hospital where they're controlling what I do and how I do it and what I do with my baby. No, I want to be in control of my life and what I'm doing with my body. So I wanted to have the baby at home. unassisted. We didn't need anybody, I said. It's just going to be me and you and Adubia, who's the older sister, right? So I had a shrine in my room, an ancestral shrine, right? And I cleaned off the shrine that night. I cleaned up the shrine, okay? Meaning like I picked up the material, I cleaned things off, I cleaned off the candles or whatever else, the crystals, whatever else I had on my shrine at the time, I cleaned it off. And let me tell you, after I cleaned that shrine off, you know, there's a thing called nesting that women do when they're about to have a baby. So nesting, meaning they start cleaning and making sure that their environment is ready and prepared for them to have the baby. And even if you're going off, you know, to have the baby in a, I was about to say hotel, in a hospital, you know, women still nest. They still do a nesting thing where they're cleaning. So I was nesting. I didn't realize it, but I was nesting. So I cleaned off my shrine. And let me tell you, maybe 2 hours after I cleaned off my shrine, I lay down to go to sleep. Then next thing you know, I feel contractions. I lay down to go to sleep and I start feeling contractions. 12 o'clock came. I had started contractions. By 3 o'clock, I had already pushed out 3 something. I pushed out the baby. I only went through about 3 hours of labor. Now, let me not lie to you. It still feel like a damn lion is clawing through your fucking vagina. Okay? I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. All that, oh, it's so beautiful and no. It feel like a lion is clawing through your fucking vagina. All right? Both my home births were natural. So no drugs or nothing. So I felt all the pain. All the pain. Okay? The only difference between the first one and the second child is the time. The pain was the same. The pain was just as intense. Okay? That was the only difference. So if you're pregnant right now, I don't mean to scare you. Listen, my experience does not have to be your experience. Okay? That may have just been my experience. Some people might spit it out and it's no problem. Okay, my experience does not have to be your experience. So don't take my experience as me trying to scare you and telling you that this is how it's going to happen for you. Okay, it's my experience. Okay, so I don't want you to get scared or anything like that. But she clawed through my vagina and she was born singing, you know, and there I was having another baby. So again, speaking life and words over your life. One thing I want to bring up. When people used to say, when's the next baby coming? I would say 3 years. In 3 years. Her sister was 2 and 9 months at the time. Like 2 years and 9 months. Almost 3. Almost 3 years old. Okay? So watch how you speak over your life. Because there I was having my second baby. In my early 20s, 3 years later, and I was not ready. So watch what you speak over your life. Now, of course, she came out like a breath of fresh air, so how could you not love and appreciate this child who brought peace to you, even in a tumultuous time? But watch what you speak over your life. Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, watch what you speak over your life. Okay? So there I was having another baby. And a year later, guess what I did? I left. My ass left. Okay? I left. I told him I was going to school, which I was. I filled out the application. They accepted me back into the New School University in New York. That's where I was going, the New School University, right? They accepted me back. And I went back to finish my motherfucking undergrad degree. Because I wasn't about to be down there popping out goddamn babies with the landlord knocking on my door. Because my man is out at the studio smoking weed, making music with his friends. Okay? That wasn't about to be my motherfucking life. It wasn't about to be my life. So I went back to New York, left him with the baby. Yes, she was a year. Left him with the baby. Took the older one with me. Started school 2 weeks later. Okay? And I graduated. All good. Now let's fast forward. Okay, I graduated my undergrad in psychology. So let's fast forward. I'm in a toxic relationship with Lotus's dad now, right? And I don't even know my own worth. I don't know my own worth. Okay? I'm seeing my mother, how she used to weigh hand and foot on man. Just like so subservient and just like, making sure they're so good. And I'm seeing that in myself. And I don't really like it, but I'm doing it. I'm being just like her. You know, children, they'll learn from your behaviors. You might tell them to be one way, but they're looking at you and they're learning from your behaviors and how you respond to situations. So what I see my mother respond to situations is I saw her being walked all over by men. I saw her being abused by men. You know, I saw her being like timid, you know, and apologetic. That's how I saw my mother living, right? So here I am in this relationship with this nigga. And y'all know I don't be calling men niggas, but you're a nigga if you act that way, like a jackass. And finally, right, after years of allowing my lower self keep me in this relationship and my toxicities keep me in this relationship, because it's not about him, it's about me. It's about the fact that I am the toxic one who have now attracted my toxic reflection, thus allowing me to be in this relationship that I don't like. I don't like it. I don't like that we would have sex. Lotus is a newborn baby. We would have sex. And you, next day would come, you'd call me and you say, how's Lotus doing? Not, how's your pussy doing? How's your left ovary doing? You don't ask me nothing about me. You just ask about the baby. That didn't make me feel good. So here I am, years later, I applied to be for grad school. Right? I applied for grad school and then I finally got accepted. The first year I didn't get accepted. And John, no, I didn't need to get accepted to grad school because I had just had the baby, but I was antsy to get back into school because, again, a lot of my self-worth was coming from my degree at the time. It wasn't coming from within. It wasn't coming from my character, my heart, my spirit. It was coming from these degrees. So I needed to get back into to school so I could feel good about myself again, right? But Spirit had it to where I did not get accepted that year. And this was when Lotus was just born. I had applied for grad school when she was a newborn. I didn't get accepted. But then I applied again when she turned 1. And then I got accepted. But thank God I didn't get accepted because I would have failed. Trust and believe. It was just too much heavy of a load. You know, we're so focused on the doors that close that we don't see all the blessings that's before us and the doors that are open. That happened for me. Me not getting accepted in the grad school that first year. It happened for me. Thank God I didn't get accepted. In hindsight, I did not need to be in school. I would have failed. Trust and believe. Okay. So, I got into grad school the next year. Then as I'm in grad school, I'm not drinking. I already didn't smoke. You know what I mean? I'm just focused. He came. We hadn't had sex in a minute. But one day he picked me up to drop me and Lotus home. And I complimented him. Some of y'all may have heard this story. I complimented him. I was like, oh, you look handsome or something like that. And he just kind of lit up like, oh, that's my way in, just because I complimented him, So I don't know. I just felt his energy shift when I complimented him. So when we got home and we dropped Lotus, we put Lotus in the bed or whatever, the next thing you know, he follows me and tries to get some. Now, usually every time before this day, I would give it up. He would get the poom poom with no question. All right. Because we had really good sexual chemistry. It was bomb. He would get it with no question. But this time, I decided to do something different. I had on some tights. This man don't sweat. He don't sweat. He's an athlete, but he don't sweat. All right. I think maybe that's why. Because like high tolerance for work. But he didn't sweat. Let me tell you, that night I held on to my tights like it was the end of my life. He was trying to get in there and I was just like holding on to my tights, holding on to my tights. He just kept trying and he was huffing and puffing and he was sweating. This man don't sweat. He was sweating and it was dark in the room and he was just trying, and Lotus was sleeping. I think my other daughters were by other family members that day. And he was just trying. And again, trust me, I was wet. I wanted to do it too. I wanted to get it in too. But the resistance, I had already went through my course because at the time I was in grad school, right? So in grad school, I was not only taking courses in grad school, but I was also taking self-help courses at the Kabbalah Center. And they were teaching you about resistance, about going against the feeling for discipline so it can last longer, as opposed to boom, the filament. They talk about the filament and they talk about how there's the negative charge and the positive charge. And then when the positive and negative charge, when there's no resistance between the positive and negative charge, the bulb explodes like boom, right? So that resistance they talk about a lot, having that filter between. So my tights at the time was the filter. It was the resistance between that explosion that would have happened had I given it up to him. Okay? So I said, I'm not giving it up. Yes, I want to do it. Trust and believe. I want to get it in. I want to do it. I wanted to do it so bad. But listen, I had to hold on. Those tights were symbolic of my self-worth. They were symbolic of my self-love. They were symbolic of me doing something different because I was just tired of even the simple act of us having sex and him not even asking how I'm doing the next day. You just calling the next day and you asking about my daughter and that's it. Like we didn't just consummate last night. Like we weren't just inside of each other last night. How you think that make me feel? I didn't like that feeling. So those tights were symbolic of me holding on to my self-love, my self-worth, right? So as I'm holding, I'm like, trust me, I want to, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I was straight edge at that time, meaning no drinking, no smoking, no sex, no nothing, right? But I think maybe we may have had sex months before, right? So I wasn't really celibate or abstinent at the time. I was just not active. But at that moment, I decided no. I said no to everything. I said no to all those bad feelings I felt with being with him. I said no to me being submissive to somebody who was abusive emotionally unavailable, because that was my thing, absent daddy. So you like the unavailable men, right? So, an emotionally unavailable man. I said no to all of that. And then that set off 2 years of straight edge. 2 years. Those 2 years that I was in grad school, I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, I didn't have sex. I didn't even get head. None of that. I didn't cheat. I was straight edge for real. And let me tell you what it did for me. Let me tell you. So because I didn't know how to say no at the time, I didn't know how to say no. When I went straight edge for those 2 years, no sex, no nothing, no alcohol, no vices, nothing. Just in school, focused, mother of 2, getting eviction notices while I'm at it, because I was in school 2011, 2012, no, I wasn't in school 2011. I started 2012, I think, 13, 14, yeah, 2012. The first eviction notice was in 2011. The second one was 2012 when I started grad school. So I was just focused. I was in grad school, fucking struggling to pay my goddamn bills. Okay. And then, that was what set off the celibacy, the abstinence. And the abstinence, let me tell you, if you are engaging in sex with somebody who doesn't appreciate you, who doesn't honor you because you don't honor yourself, essentially that's why you're in that relationship, because you don't honor yourself, because you don't know your true self-worth, and that's the reason why you're settling, then you need to go abstinent. Because let me tell you, I didn't know how to say no then. I didn't know how to say no. All I saw was my mother being a yes woman all her life. Even when she didn't want to, she was saying yes. So that's what I knew. To say yes even when I don't want to say yes even when I don't feel right, to say yes and to allow people to step all over me even when it doesn't feel right. That's what I knew. I learned how to say no and to be real confident in my no during that year. It was so important for me to just learn how to say no. That resistance that night set off me learning how to say no. Literally. And not giving a fuck if you liked me anymore, if you wanted to be my friend anymore. That night set off me learning how to honor myself and how to say no. And not care what you thought after that. Because that's what no is usually associated with. You have to keep in mind how the person is going to respond, if they're going to like you anymore, if they're going to catch an attitude, right? But I learned to not care, to put myself first. If you don't like me after I said no, then that's your problem. I had to love myself enough to be able to stay with myself and not care if I was by myself. If no one liked me anymore because I was saying no, I had to love myself that much. I had to learn how to say no during those 2 years of abstinence and straight edge and not engaging in anything but my schoolwork and struggling on welfare as a mother. Okay. And so I learned how to say no. And that was one of the greatest lessons I learned in saying no to him. That set off a whole train of saying no and being okay with it. Like I remember being in situations where, I probably was like in a situation with a man and, I'm like automatically like, it's nothing is happening, right? You could continue liking me, you can continue wanting to date me or see me, but nothing's going down. I'm abstinent. Like it's not happening. Nothing's happening. So if you want to continue liking me, that's fine. But if you don't, I'm okay with that too. Because I'm okay with me. I'm liking me right now. I'm loving me. I'm enjoying me right now. So I got to that point where I'm just okay with saying no. And so that no, the way the no looks today is, putting myself first, but, and it's okay to be selfish, putting myself first and really feeling out, because if you go from saying yes, 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 and being a yes woman, yes man, right? Today, I'm able to assess situations. Does this make me feel good? Does this make me comfortable? Does this take me out of my way? Am I putting myself out of my way for somebody else? I question myself. I question all of these things when coming and helping other people. Is my tank half full or is it completely full? Because remember, I said this is the overflow. What's in here is for you, and what's out here is the overflow. So I question myself. I question all these things when coming to helping. Am I giving from a full place or a half empty place? Is this going to put me out of my way to put them in their way? Is this going to take me out of position to position them? Or is this going to help the whole? These are the questions I ask, right? Even down to like, say, dropping somebody off, right? If I drop you off, is it on the way through my route? Or am I putting myself out of the way? Now, of course, there are exceptions. You know what I mean? There are exceptions. But if it's a situation to where that person can help themselves, if I don't help them, then I'm assessing all of that. Am I putting myself out of the way to position you? Am I? Always remembering to put myself first and knowing that I matter in my world and that everybody else are just playing parts. Like, I invite you into my world right now, and you on this live, you're inviting me into your world. We're both choosing this. We're choosing. So I'm choosing daily throughout all the decisions and choices that I'm making. I'm choosing who I'm inviting, who I'm allowing, what thoughts I'm allowing, what thoughts I'm discarding, right? And so this whole conversation began with the lady saying, thank you, I found you on this meditation this morning. To those who are on the meditation, right? It's every Tuesday at 7 a.m. And that she used to come to my workouts. And I was telling you all how the Victory Run was birthed. It was birthed while I was in grad school. 3 daughters. One was newborn at the time, or probably 1. I had an eviction notice. I had a walk with a best friend in Botanical Gardens. We then went from the Botanical Gardens to Prospect Park. In Prospect Park, we was like, all right, so you see that tree? We're going to run to that tree and let's run out our fears. Let's run out our fears, all right? So we did a run and we ran out our fears. We said, and we just ran out our fears, right? And then we was like, all right, you see that one? We're going to take a run. We're going to do the ugly run. Let's make it real ugly. And we were like, this is the ugly run. And so we were just running it out, right? So we were just like using this run to express and to release all of the darkness that we were experiencing, especially since I was experiencing all this anxiety and fear from being evicted, right? And so from that Sunday, I put things into motion. Remember, I told y'all, Hadia, what's up, baby? I put things into motion right away. And actually, that was one of the first times that I saw you, Hadia, at the Victory Run. You were on a bicycle, and I was about to start my run. Love you too. And so I was about to start. Remember I told you all about this Virgo energy right now, right? Like taking an initiative and also utilizing the Aries energy to just do it. So this is an example of the Virgo and the Aries energy. So the Virgo energy was me creating a flyer that Sunday, me creating a flyer, structuring things and letting the people know. The Aries energy was getting it done. I didn't do no studying. I didn't open up any maps of Prospect Park to see what route to take. I didn't start asking around, do you think I should do this run or not? No, I used that fiery energy that was under me and I made it happen right then and there. Next Sunday, 7 days later, I was doing the Victory Run, what I called the Victory Run. Next Sunday, I started the Victory Run and I was doing it. This is the energy I'm talking about, y'all. Doing it. Stop fucking studying it away, researching, needing a second opinion, waiting for XYZ. Remember, I told y'all I started my 7-figure business with Vistaprint labels and I made the 7-figure with Vistaprint labels. Doing it. Utilizing that fiery, passionate energy to make it happen. And so here's the gag. I did the Victory Run every Sunday. Rain, sleet, snow. First of all, about 7 people showed up that day. My first Victory Run. 7 people showed up, right? To the Victory Run. My best friend, I Love You Fun was there. Who else? Will, and some other people. It was a cold ass day, below 30. Literally, it was a cold ass day. This is New York. Hey, Albina. It was a cold day. Cold. But I showed up. Let me tell you. I have pictures. If you look up Victory Warriors, hashtag Victory Warriors, here on Instagram, Victory Warriors, we would always take a picture at the end, jumping in the air with the two signs up to represent victory, like, right? And we would show up, rain, sleet. I have pictures of me running in the snow, sun, anything, any weather. We were there. Any weather. This is showing up what showing up does, right? I'm reading a book. What book was that? Secrets to Success or something like that. One of those Napoleon Hill books. The Key to Success. And it talks about going the extra mile. Me showing up in rain, sleet, snow, hail, sun, right? Was me going that extra mile. And this is what happened when it came to going the extra mile. Showing up regardless. You have that ego that's like, what if nobody comes? And what if nobody does? No, you show the fuck up for yourself. You show up for yourself. I was showing up for myself first. I was showing up because I'm the one who had the eviction notice and I needed to release that stress. I was showing up for me first. You show up for yourself first. Whoever shows up thereafter, kudos. But you show up for yourself today. First, disrespectfully, shine. So I would show up every Sunday, I would put it out there, victory run. It's time for victory on Facebook. It's time for victory. Let's go. And it was open to the public, men, women, whoever wanted to come, right? And they would show up. And so I showed up for 2 years, 12, 13, 2.5 years, 2012, 2013, and in 2014, right before I moved to Georgia. Prospect Park, Grand Army Plaza, meet me right there. We will meet there and I would take them through a psychological run because the run will be dedicated and focused on them running towards their goals, running out their fears, the same way we did the first victory run. So I'll be like, all right, you see that tree, you see that stoplight, that's your goal. That's whatever project that you want to accomplish. Run to it. Let's go. Sprint. Boom. We would do high knees. We would do, burpees. We would run up the mountain. I say, you see these stairs? At the top of the stairs, that's your fears. Run past it. Let's go. Boom. They would run to it, right? And so we would do this run every Sunday. Sometimes one person, just Will, would show up. He was like my running partner. I don't know. He would just show up all the time, Sometimes it's just me and Jade, right? Yes, I'm remembering the people who used to show up. Sometimes it was just me and one other person. There was never a time where it was just me, though. And I'm thankful for that. There was never a time where it was just me. Somebody would show up for the victory run, and it became like a thing in the community where people like, I'm gonna show up to that victory run one day. It was like a goal, like I'm gonna be there one day. A lot of people promise themselves away. You promise yourself away sometimes. You research yourself away. You read yourself away, right? You'll stay in that space, that dormant space of thinking and wishing until nothing gets done. So some people never got to experience the victory run, seeing us every week, promising to themselves, and never got to experience the glory of it, right? Anyway, I did it for 2.5 years. And here's the gag. Yes, my cuz was there. That's right. Sylvie. Who came all the way from the Bronx to come to the victory run in Brooklyn. Yes. So all the excuses, we're not about it. We're not about the excuses. Okay. So I'm in grad school, remember? So in grad school, I created a program. And so in grad school, I called it the Lotus Project. But then after I left grad school, I called it Butte Camp. Butte as in beauty, or boot, but it was Butte Camp. So I started Butte Camp. right? So I graduated grad school, May or what have you, and I launched my Butte Camp program in August. Mind you, I've been going the extra mile for 2.5 years, right? 2.5 years doing this victory run every fucking Sunday. Even when I went on vacation, like when I went to Equatorial Guinea, I did the victory run there with the people who were there. Literally every Sunday, I am doing the victory run no matter what, going the extra mile doing it. So here's a high ticket program I created, Butte Camp. I needed these women to pay me, I'm thinking it was $350 a week for this 6-week program. Okay? They got to pay $350 a week for this 6-week program. My first time charging that much for anything. Or my first time even doing a program apart from the victory run, right? So I just finished grad school in my mental health counseling degree. So I'm putting this program that I created in grad school, I'm implementing it now. So I'm like, hey, I got this program. It's a 6-week program. I told the people at the victory run, I got about 10 of those women to sign up for my program. 10 of them signed up for my Butte Camp program. After 2.5 years of going the extra mile and doing this workshop every Sunday for free. Do you think that would have happened if I wasn't servicing? If I wasn't giving? Because the universe is a reciprocal universe. Do you think that would have happened if I was not showing up and building trust with these people to show them that I could take them to the next level? Do you think that would have happened? No, it would not have. It would not have. It would not have. Okay? So those of you starting your businesses and such, you worried about customers and everything, but how are you showing up for yourself? How are you going the extra mile? How are you mother effing over delivering? I over delivered. I'm talking rain, sleet, snow, below zero weather to where my fingers are freezing, frostbitten by the end of the run. How are you over delivering and how are you showing up? You playing the victim, but you're not showing up. You saying nobody's supporting me and nobody's showing up, but you're not showing up for yourself. Right? So I deserve that. I deserved these people, these women, to show up for me at the end. I earned it. I earned the right for them to join my high ticket 6-week Butte Camp program. For me to change their life holistically, mind, body, spirit. They got the workout. They got the affirmation. They even got a counseling session with me. They got the diet. Green Goddess Detox at the time still. They got all of that. Okay? Getting people to show up for you starts with you showing up for yourself, for one. And two, the consistency is what's going to build trust in the observers. That's how you convert observers to customers. You showing up for yourself first and then doing it consistently, thus building trust. That's why they joined hands with me. So that's what I wanted to share with you all. The victory run that I was doing every Sunday, showing up rain, sleet, snow, hail, freezing, okay? No matter what, showing up, then allowed for me to prove myself in a community, that I'm a reliable source, that in me changing their lives every Sunday and getting them charged up and ready for their week, that I can actually change their lives further, and asking them to pay this amount weekly, $350, for this program that I was teaching. Yes, Lori. You understand? All right, y'all. Anyway, let me move forward. I got things to do. All right. So remember, show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. Be consistent. Build trust. Convert observers to motherfucking customers. It's already yours. It's already yours. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. it's already yours. The wealth is already yours. The love, you're already loved. Yes, you're supported by a gang of ancestors. Yes, you're supported by a team of spirit guides. Yes, the wealth is already yours. The luxury is already yours. You deserve the ease. You deserve the peace. You deserve the harmony. You deserve it. You deserve the comfort. Yes, it's already yours. Random checks and monies are already yours. Right now, it's already yours. Get out of your own way and start showing up yourself consistently. Consistently. Stop playing with yourself. It's fire season. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. It's already yours. Ashe. Thank you for joining me. My name is Ma'at Petrova. I do this meditation every day. Join in. It's called Manifest a Million Meditation. It's the second link in the bio. We have a 20% off sale, so you better grab it now while it's still here, because I don't do sales often, at femmagic.com. And best believe there's power in proximity. So if you want this $1 million energy, well, not even $1 million, I mean priceless energy that you can turn into millions and billions, okay, then align yourself with this energy ASAP. I love y'all. Blessings, blessings, blessings.